3, 2,
Two,
1.
one.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
I'm the host of the PBE podcast, Troy Tittlemeyer, sitting down. This gentleman here, I'm going to have him introduce himself here in a minute, but we are at the Southwest section of the AAPG, the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, the 100-year anniversary for the North Texas Geological Society. What were you doing 100 years ago, sir?
Wasn't here yet.
All right, I was just checking. 1923, man. That's incredible to think about. 1923, a society opened up for geologists to get together in Wichita Falls and say, what is going on here? What do we know? What do we think we know? What new technology can we develop? How can we make our jobs easier? What is going on? And 100 years later, we're still at it. Got the Southwest section in today. The talks have been good. The technical talks. Have you caught any of those yet?
A few.
Nice. Opening ceremonies were good. The history of the NTGS, right? Please, sir, introduce yourself. Give me a little elevator pitch of what you do, who you are.
All right. Well, I'm Jonathan Price. I'm the current chair of the Kimball School of Geosciences at Midwestern State University here in Wichita Falls.
No kidding. You're the chair.
I'm the chair, for what it's worth.
Man, how long you been doing that?
Longer than I care to count. Maybe 8 years.
8 years?
8 years, something like that.
Man, are you a geoscientist?
I am.
Okay. Sometimes, they put an engineer in charge of the chair sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right?
Not in this case.
Not in this case. And you said the geoscience department is named what?
The Kimball School of Geosciences.
Kimball. Who is that? A person?
That is a family.
A family. Okay,
There's
the
a family in
Kimballs.
the region. They benefacted our department about 8 years ago to our success. So, and they provided an endowment for our students and for growing our department. So we've really grown as a function of having the Kimball support.
Wow, that was huge, huh?
Yep.
Wow. How many students go to Midwestern?
It's about 5,500.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a pretty good size school. You got a football team?
They do.
Nice. Yep. Basketball team?
Yes.
No kidding.
Men's and
baseball?
No baseball.
No baseball.
No
rugby?
baseball.
Rugby?
No rugby.
Okay.
That I know of. There might be an intramural
Hockey?
team.
Hockey team?
Well, again, there might be an intramural team, but not any.
Not like Division 3 or whatever it is. Okay. You ever go to the football games?
Yeah.
They're a good time, huh?
Yeah.
Got a good quarterback this year?
That's a good question. I honestly do not know.
How about the head coach? He's been around for a while?
Yeah, he's been around. Bill Maskell. He's a great guy.
Nice. Okay. And so what were you doing before 8 years ago, before you became the chair of Midwestern?
I was still working here, but I was not the chair.
You were still working at the university, though?
Yes, that is correct.
Ah, okay. So you got a PhD in geology?
That's correct.
All right, let's rock it way back. Where are you from?
Originally?
Yes.
Way back?
Yes. Day one.
Portland, Oregon.
What? You were born on the coast.
I was.
They call, some people refer to that as the best coast.
The best coast? It's
Instead
the
of
wet coast.
Instead of the west coast or the wet coast.
It's the wet
they say
coast.
the best coast.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I was born in Ventura.
Okay.
Yeah. So
very good.
Right?
Not as wet down there.
Right. A little more sunny. Yeah, a lot of oil.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow. How long were you in Portland?
I spent the first 18 years of my life there.
No kidding. And your mom and dad, what'd they do?
Dad worked for the power company, and mom was largely stay at home.
Wow. Nice. Brothers, sisters?
One sister.
One sister growing up, just attacking life.
Yep.
Right on. And so when you get out of high school at 18, you get a scholarship to go somewhere to get a geology degree?
I did. Baylor University.
You went straight to Baylor.
Yep.
For geology.
Correct.
Golly. So have you always just had this affinity to the rocks?
So, fact about Portland, Oregon, in May 18th, 1980, we had a clear view of Mount St. Helens going off.
Oh, my God.
So it was very inspiring to me. I was in 6th grade.
You watched that big decompression release.
I did.
Holy smokes.
And that was the weird part about it, because any other day in May, it was cloudy, but it was clear as a bell that Sunday.
That day.
Yeah.
You watched it happen.
Uh-huh.
Wow, man.
It was cool.
Wow. Could you hear it?
No, you couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear it, but you could see it.
Yeah, you could see it.
Holy cow, man. You're sixth grade. You were like 12 years old?
Yep.
Woo-hoo! And that's what took you off into geology, huh? You want to be a volcanologist after that?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Okay, so you get into Baylor, you get your undergrad, right?
That's correct.
You go through school, you're top of the class,
No, I'm not top of the class.
but you you had a good time. You had good grades.
I did all right. Had great
on.
friends there.
Right on. Right on. And then what happens after undergrad?
Masters at Baylor.
Oh, you went Baylor.
Yep.
Nice. And then Baylor.
No, OU for my PhD.
OU, Oklahoma University.
That's right.
Interesting. So when you're getting through undergraduate, you really all you got really at the end of the day is kind of a baseline, a fundamental understanding of the differences in the rock cycles. And, kind of unknown to me was still that the oil and gas industry, the mining industry, the environmental, these options we had as geoscientists to actually make a career, actually make a living doing this. That was kind of really at the end of my undergrad. Luckily, I had oil and gas. That was my target going in. So I'd always write my papers or do research on oil and gas. And even though my professors were largely not, but I still had that concept. At the end of the undergrad, what were you thinking? You wanted to do academia? You wanted to do industry? What did you want?
Well, I was fortunate that I did get to work on volcanoes. So
Nice.
I had a professor who took me under his wing, and we did a research project in Central Oregon as part of my senior thesis.
Central Oregon.
Yep.
Central Oregon. That's like Crater Lake? Where is
A
that?
little north of that.
North of Crater Lake.
Bachelor Butte. It's almost geographically in the center of the Cascades.
Nice. Oh, the Cascades,
Yep.
man. Right on. Yeah, there's been a lot of attempts for mining in the Cascades, but nothing super great. Some stuff has made it economic, but a lot of busts up there in the Cascades.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not a lot of economic deposits throughout.
Right.
You gotta go further south into the older rocks.
Into the older rocks. You got to cross what they call the what's the slab tear up there called? It basically is across the border of Oregon and California, right before the big valley. And it's not the Nakazari. It's not the Garlock. What's the north of that? I can't think of the dang name, but there's a big old ocean floor suture that comes off the ocean floor right into the continent, cuts across Oregon. You go north of that, you're right. The play's just not commercial. There's stuff there. There's gold. There's different things, but it's just commercial stuff is south of that feature. And interesting, man. That's cool. So you got to go do that from Baylor. You got to kind of go back home, back to your home state anyway. And then so you get your master's. Are you're a volcanologist by the end of your master's?
More of a geochemist than a volcanologist when it's all said and done.
So we're talking Hatherton and Dickinson, those kinds of studies where
they're whole rock geochemistry.
Hell yeah.
Putting together pieces of fractionating magma chambers.
Oh man, nice. Yeah, there's some really interesting papers on all that stuff that's happened over the years. I mean, plate tectonics was really figured out by Dickinson and his geochemical ability to see that the chemistry, the alkalinities of these of the magmas that were at the crust above subduction zones. Hatherton was the geophysicist saying, here's your angle of subduction, the Benioff zones at this depth here. The volcanoes that were being made at the surface had very distinct chemistry. Mm-hmm. And so they're tying the geochemistry to the geophysics. And they went around the Circuit Pacific eventually, and now all Western United States is loaded with just amazing data, making these distinctions between, and then the age dating came over the 70s and 80s, and now they're age dating all these similar and dissimilar alkalinities of these magmas. Very, very cool. Very interesting. Right on. Okay, so you get your master's. Now you go do your PhD at OU?
That's right.
And you do your PhD on volcanoes at OU?
I do my PhD on really old volcanoes and underlying plutons in southern Oklahoma. The Wichita Mountains, north of here by an hour.
The Wichitas. Right on. Okay. So that's kind of your backyard now, huh?
Yep.
You did your PhD on it, and you're doing the geochemistry across the Wichita Mountains?
Yep. I have students working on it currently.
So what is it, man? What kind of granites are these? What's going on here?
So rift related. You're going back into the Cambrian, a little bit before the Cambrian to start off the process. And you're opening up a rift that basically is tearing up through southern Oklahoma and past into Colorado, maybe as far as Utah.
Now, these granites are crystallizing out at depth, right? 15 kilometers at depth. There's
All
not,
shallow. You can think of them as almost subvolcanic. So 1 to 4 kilometers.
oh, wow.
And then rhyolite cover still preserved up there.
And then a bunch of rhyolites.
Yep.
Huh. Any topaz rhyolites?
No, nothing that florist, but they are pretty fluorine rich.
They are.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the halogens, it seems like there's a interesting story happening between halogen-rich rhyolites and lithium.
Yep.
So any potential up in the Wichita Mountains for lithium?
No, I don't think so. West Texas is probably a better choice for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's cool. So specifically, what type of granites are we talking about? Are they metaluminous, paraluminous?
They're paraluminous
Nice.
and weakly alkaline.
Okay.
So calcalic.
Calcalic, paraluminous granites.
I should say alkali calcics. Not
Oh, alkali
Sorry.
calcics.
One step up from that. So,
But paraluminous.
but paraluminous.
Paraluminous, alkali calcic.
No, sorry, metaluminous.
Metaluminous.
and alkaline calcic. So.
All right. Okay. Metaluminous, alkali calcic, MAC. The MACs. And how old are they, you said? Precambrian?
They are Cambrian.
Oh,
In
they're
fact,
Cambrian.
we just did recent dating, and they're a really
Nice.
short time frame from 532 million years to 530 million years.
That must have something to do with the Cambrian explosion, huh?
I don't know. I don't know if they realized that life was going nuts, but it does have to do with the opening of the Iapetus, which might have been an important feature for developing the Cambrian explosion.
Interesting. Being that close to surface, all those reactions happening, all that fractionation, hard to believe that there wasn't some kind of influence on the biosphere from all this.
Could be.
You know, when you're making a bunch of metaluminous alkali calcic rock, I wonder what the vapors and the gases coming off of that system, I wonder what that mostly is.
It's a good question. They're not particularly volatile rich. So, and the neat thing about the rhyolites is they're extensive lava flows, like hundreds of kilometers, and they're not ash
Wow.
flows at all. They're just lavas.
Wow. Can you imagine being around?
I try to, but I cannot. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, it is. Holy smokes, man. That's huge area. Wow. Interesting. Metaluminous alkali calcic magmas crystallizing out at 1 to 4 kilometers. And it's rifting.
Yep.
It's rifting. Cambrian rift. And that's on like a North 70 West feature, right? The Wichitas are just cutting right across like that.
And of course, you can find the same rocks in the subsurface. So the Wichitas are just a small expression of the total volume that's actually buried by largely Permian rocks.
Huh. Permian sediment rocks?
Yep.
Sedimentary rocks?
Yep.
So they've drilled into the basement on that stuff? And it's still metaluminous, alkali calcic, or these rhyolite lavas? No kidding.
Yep.
The hell? Have you seen any kind of ophiolites?
No, there are no ophiolites in the system.
Whoa. Son of a gun, man.
Very bimodal. It's a lot of large volume mafic plutons.
Mafic.
Yeah.
So magnesium rich.
Iron and magnesium rich. Mostly
and
iron rich.
Mostly iron rich.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see the correlations starting to happen, right? You have sequence stratigraphers in industry. You have oil and gas geologists that are putting together the sedimentology story. And they're saying this must have eroded from somewhere, right?
Mhm.
And you're a geochemist. You're like,
Yep.
okay, well, let's look at the elemental makeup of the rocks that you're finding oil in, and let's see if they relate elementally to the mountains that you really know. Do you see a lot of relationships there? Do you see a lot of good chemistry that correlate between subsurface oil-producing assets and the mountains that you know?
Oh, I think one of the best revolutions we've seen in the last decade, or even going a little bit further beyond that, is the use of detrital zircons in sedimentary rocks
Nice.
to understand provenance and what mountains are up and what are the sources for your sediments.
That's interesting. Yeah, zircons. And have you seen the these zircons will have like the inside of the zircon is one thing, and then there's a rim around it,
Yeah.
and then like another one. It's got like a
Yep.
growth.
Yep.
Have you seen? They're starting to age date the center, and then they age date the rim, and there's differences.
Oh
It's-
yeah.
So
No, that's
that's
fantastic work.
zircon stuff it's like age dating these major fractionation events through time, right?
And even multiple processes like igneous to metamorphic to sedimentary. It's wonderful stuff.
Wow,
Yeah.
right on, right on. You do a lot of zircon work?
Myself, not too much. The age dating we did in the Wichitas was done at Boise State.
Oh,
and
nice.
We sent off the rocks to them, and they separated the zircons.
The Broncos, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
That
Okay.
blue football field.
Yeah. You ever been there?
I have been there once, but it was a long time ago, before they were the big football power they are.
Ah, before they did the blue turf.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. That's some interesting stuff. Now, talk to me about the department. What are you guys doing to make sure that the students realize that there is a really long-term, very serious career for young professionals to help with this energy demand and this ideas of sustainability and the transition and everything that's happening in industry with energy, everything as a geoscientist? How does the school harness the reality of that and deliver that information to the students and keep the staff happy, keep the chairs full with students? What do you do for that?
Well, a number of things. I'd say that the strength of both our undergraduate program and our master's program is hands-on data acquisition, hands-on interpretation. Students work directly with professors. They get involved fairly early on. They have lots of opportunities for research. They have lots of opportunities here in Wichita Falls to be involved in the local geologic community. The NTGS has always been welcoming of students, and they're a big part of the meetings. They can certainly join in at any point. And we try to make them aware that there are professional opportunities they can engage in, but also they can see what each of the aspects of geological science are about while they're at our institution.
Right on. So you guys do a lot of helping the students get out there and kind of break that uncomfortableness of kind of, I don't want to sound dumb. The students kind of have the same approach, like, I want to be out there to shake hands, but I don't want to be, that kind of red-shirted freshman in the crowd. So you guys try to really help with that, let them get comfortable.
I hope so. I hope we're doing a good job of that. We have 6 students presenting posters at this meeting.
Nice.
So, and
right
three
on.
are over there right now.
Nice.
They're talking to everyone
Yeah.
and doing a swell job of it.
Nice.
couldn't
Yeah,
be
look at
prouder.
them. Young, just full of energy, talking about rocks.
Yep.
Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. That is cool. Well, I always like to bring up one fact about everything we do, and it's staying positive, right?
All right.
Got to stay positive with everything going on. I'm going to say, just tell me to stop. See how it strikes you. Tell me to stop.
Stop.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You
you
almost got me at the end there.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. A great way to make an impact, like impact crater,
Yes.
like Crater Lake, something going on here. You saw how random that was. I didn't. A great way to make an impact as a leader, which is what you are, is to remind people of the power that exists inside them to create the world outside of them. That's pretty good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You remember being told that when you were a master's student?
Maybe not in those exact words.
But it was there, huh?
It was there. I had some really encouraging friends and professors, so
Makes a difference, man.
it does make a difference to have somebody in your corner saying
Oh,
you can do
man.
this. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not just in your head, you can do this, but the people around you,
Yeah.
your soundboard, your soundboard has got to be full of energy. All right, and another one for a leader. A leader is a dealer of hope, but if you don't have it, you can't share it. It starts with you. What gives you hope? What do you hope for? Send it there.
All right.
What do you hope for?
Well, I've been privileged to work for this university and had a role in playing and building this department. What I've hoped is we've built a department that really resonates with students, that's student-oriented. And I'm hoping that we can continue to grow that we're just starting out, that it's going to be much bigger as we go down the road.
Man, right on. Well, sir, good luck to everything.
Thank you.
Wish you the best. I look forward to meeting some of your students
All right.
and talk to them about metaluminous, alkali calcic rocks, and maybe a little oil and gas. Thank you so much for sharing time with us.
All right. I appreciate it, Troy. Thank you.